Hey again, everybody.
Hey.
Today we wanted to talk about another thing that's one of the more commonly asked questions that we get. And that question is, who's the best carrier to drive for, or what suggestions would we give on a carrier to drive for?
It's a hard question.
Yeah, to answer specifically.
Because there is no one best carrier out there.
No.
With carriers, what works for me may not work for you.
Right. When you're picking a carrier or trying to decide on a carrier to drive for, there's a lot of factors that you've got to think about. Mainly, what kind of freight do you want to haul? Do you want to haul specialized freight? Do you want to just haul general freight, automotive freight?
Do you want to go all over the country? Do you want to stay regional? One of the biggest things that I always read when I was doing my research in expediting was there's no one perfect carrier out there. They're all gonna have their problems. They all have problems.
Yeah.
Not one single one is perfect. It's what you can put up with.
Right.
What can you tolerate? How much can you tolerate from your carrier?
Right, exactly.
Because you're going to have to put up with some crap, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
To put it bluntly, anywhere from, just getting bad information from dispatch, rude dispatchers. I'm sure every carrier out there has that one jerk that just nobody likes to talk to,
Yeah.
There's like one driver that just likes this guy for some reason.
Yeah. Like Jesus said, they're all gonna have their goods and their bads. It's just what you can tolerate and you can put up with. Some are better than others. Another factor is what kind of vehicle you're driving. If you're driving a straight truck or cargo van or tractor trailer,
right.
Certain carriers are better for, say, cargo van versus straight truck and tractor trailer.
Absolutely. If you want to do reefer loads, the one carrier I know of that basically you see reefer trucks all over the place is FedEx Custom Critical.
Yep.
If that's what you want to do.
Right.
For us, we don't want to mess with the added engine. You're going to have the engine of the truck, an APU or a generator, and then a reefer engine. That's 3 engines on the truck you got to worry about. Maintenance.
More maintenance.
Breakdowns. Just having to deal with the extra work that comes along with doing reefer stuff, having to set your temperature, having to make sure your temperatures are staying in temp along route, and just that's something we never wanted to do.
Right.
It was just added work for us, but there's a payoff for it. Those loads do pay better. There's a higher rate for those kind of loads, which means you can make more money. So
there's only specific carriers that do that type of freight, like you
right,
said.
Right.
You're
not going to go to load one with a reefer truck.
No.
And make a bunch of money.
No.
You'll probably never use that reefer once. Or
right.
I don't know if load one does reefer stuff, but
I don't know.
I don't see many load one reefer trucks. You don't see an XPO, reefer truck.
Yeah, I've never seen one, but that doesn't mean they're not out there. So
right.
We may just have never seen it.
Right.
So.
For instance, with us, we like doing the government freight.
Yeah.
What carriers out there do the government freight?
There's only a few.
Yeah. Panther, Landstar, FedEx is the only 3 I know of.
Yeah.
Unless you go to tractor trailer, then there's a whole bunch of them out there.
Right.
There's no one perfect carrier out there for anybody, I don't think. Is there carriers with less warts than others? And that's what they call them, warts, problems. One of our big ones that we've always been looking into is Landstar, but we do the government freight. So we've heard from a lot of people that Landstar is good for if you do government.
Yeah.
But then we've heard other people say that don't do the government freight that they had trouble making money at Landstar. So, it's a catch-22 there.
Yeah. We drive for Panther. Most of you know that have been watching our videos. We have never directly promoted Panther to people.
No.
I mean, people just see that's who we drive for, because obviously you see our truck and we talk about it from time to time, but that doesn't mean Panther's going to be a good fit for you.
Right.
Not downing any company, but just because it's worked for us for the last 4 years doesn't mean it will work for you or be a good fit.
Or because it works for you, don't mean it works for us.
Right.
You know, my opinion is that it's really what you put into it.
Yeah.
I feel we could go to any company and probably make good money and make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Are the headaches that come along with that company worth it?
Right.
You know?
When we got into this, Jason did a ton of research. If you've watched our channel for any amount of time, you know Panther wasn't our first choice to start with. It's because of the owner we wanted to drive for. You should really focus more on finding a good owner.
Oh, absolutely.
And then second, finding a good carrier, because if you find a good owner, chances are they're already going to be leased on to a decent carrier that they know people and have some pull or are going to take care of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, the owner, I always think, don't worry about what carrier you're looking for.
That should be second.
That should be second. You should absolutely look for an owner that you can bond with, be friends with, work together with, be a partner with. You know, this is who's actually paying you.
Right.
You know, your owner is who you're in business with. The carrier is just a customer.
Yeah, exactly. You're not employed by the carrier.
You're not employed by the carrier. The only ties you have with them is you run under their authority and you haul freight for them. So yeah, finding an owner should be number one.
Right.
That is the absolute number one thing you should look for.
Yeah, because those owners, they're already going to have relationships with carriers.
Right.
That doesn't apply, of course, if you own your own truck, obviously. You know, then yes, your number one priority is finding a good carrier that you want to lease onto.
Right.
But like we've always said, if you're just getting out into this business, we always highly recommend driving for an owner first to make sure it's going to be a good fit and you're going to want to continue doing it. You don't want to put out a bunch of money on a truck and then, or a van or whatever, and find you don't like it.
Right.
What's the best carrier? We can't really specify a carrier. Do your research.
We can list a couple. If you're looking for cargo
our top
van.
three. Let's say our top three, or let's
top
say, yeah,
two for each
category, each vehicle. So cargo van. Barrett. We've heard really good things about them.
We don't know them personally. We have no ties to them, but from the drivers we've talked to that are over there, they love it.
Yes, they do.
And what I really like about them is they don't just bring on anybody.
It is hard to get on there. That is
it
one
is
thing
very hard to
heard.
get on there. You have to be a hustler.
Which is a good thing. That is a good thing. That means that they value the quality of their drivers. They're not just hiring and oversaturating.
They
their
care
business.
about their drivers.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about them. Hands down, a carrier that cares about their drivers is what a concept.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So then after Barrett, who would you say for cargo van?
Load One.
Load One?
I think Load One's a decent place.
Heard good things about them.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody talk bad about them. I can't say one story I've heard where somebody was talking bad about Load One. So, you know, those are two options you can check into.
Straight trucks.
Straight trucks.
First choice.
First choice.
Landstar. That's what
For
I would
us.
say. For us. I would say Landstar, just based on what we've heard. We've never talked to anybody that's had anything bad to say about Landstar.
I like how they run their business.
You're truly independent there, really.
You are.
The closest you can be to independent.
You are paid on a percentage of what is charged to the customer, not a flat rate.
Yeah.
You're not getting this flat rate, and while your carrier's charging $4 a mile, and you're only getting $1.30. You know. There's loads out there that they do that with, you know. That's where they can make their extra money. But if you're with Landstar and they're charging $4 a mile, you're getting a percentage of that $4 a mile.
Yeah.
Are there loads that pay $4 a mile? I don't know. I'm sure there are out there, you know, but a lot of these carriers, FedEx, well, I don't know about FedEx, but Panther, they just play a flat rate. I think 99% of carriers pay a flat rate. That's what we really like about Landstar.
And there's no forced dispatch there.
Right.
A lot of carriers say they have no forced dispatch, but that isn't always the case. There's kind of a catch-22 to that also, and you know, you don't get penalized if you don't want to take a load. That doesn't make sense. They're not penalizing you for that like some other carriers do.
Yeah, our second pick would be FedEx Custom Critical.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know much about them, but what I do know is if you're in the white glove, you're going to make more money, and that's what we're out here to do, is you know, make more money. But
absolutely,
we got a couple friends who work over there.
Yeah,
they seem to like it pretty much. You know, we don't know the warts that they have to put up with a lot.
Tractor trailer, I guess we don't know a lot of tractor trailer drivers.
We don't. No.
Not expediting anyway.
Not expediting. FedEx and Panther would be your two options on that.
Yeah, just because that's what we kind of know.
Yeah,
maybe there's some tractor trailer. I know we have some tractor trailer drivers that watch the channel, so maybe some of y'all can leave some comments on your suggestions on what carriers for expedited tractor trailer you think are good. Give some suggestions on that. We'd appreciate it.
And when researching carriers, researching the one you're looking for, do some Google searches. Get on Expeditors Online, ask people.
Facebook pages.
Do a Google search for these carrier names and read what's out there. The internet is full of driver reviews, and you can really get a sense for what kind of warts are the carrier you're looking into gonna have.
Yeah.
You know, what problems are other drivers having? That is gonna be your #1 resource of finding the best carrier for you, because not one person can tell you who the best carrier is out there.
No.
Like we said before, what works for you might not work for us, might not work for the next guy.
Right.
You know, one person might be really, really good at XPO, but then somebody else comes in with more miles under his belt, longer experience, been running for FedEx Custom Critical for 20 years, and made the move over to XPO, and he might not do good. Read what's out there, you know.
Talk to people, get multiple input.
Just because we say Landstar is the best carrier, we think Landstar is the best carrier out there.
That doesn't mean it
Don't mean it's going to be the best for you. Read multiple people's reviews out there about carriers. You're gonna read a lot. There's reviews out there about all of them, even a lot of small mom and pops, you know. I know I've read countless reviews and people asking for reviews on Expeditors Online. That is going to be your #1 resource for finding a carrier. Just because one person says they're the best doesn't mean they're the best for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll down in the description, I'll list a list of some of the main carriers and their phone numbers, so you know what some of the major carriers
some
are.
Of the big ones out there, and some to start researching see if any of them will work best for you guys.
Yeah. So that's our advice, kind of in a nutshell, on finding what the best carrier is, or our suggestion on the best carrier. We can't really suggest just one carrier to you, just because there's so many different ones out there.
There's so many options.
We've talked about it. There's so many options. And one thing to remember too is, if you go with a carrier, that doesn't mean you have to be stuck with that carrier if it's not a good fit and it's not working out. So just keep that in mind also. You know, you can always change carriers if need be. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and until our next video, peace, love, and expediting.